Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
Okay, well, welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and today we are talking all about relocating. That was something that I promised everybody on my show on Monday. I gave you guys some tips and tricks as far as the lending side goes. But today I promised that I was going to be bringing on an awesome real estate agent. He is the broker owner of his company. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Chris.
Well, thank you, Debbie. Nice to be with you today. My name's Chris Lechner. I'm the broker owner of Weichert Realtors Global Point, and we are located in Southern California. We have 7 offices throughout the Ventura, Los Angeles, Orange, and Riverside counties. And most of our business is done with serving the corporate community, corporations, real estate management companies, relocation management companies, and serving people that are relocating and handling their real estate needs.
So you do, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands, there is a difference between just being, the ordinary guy that says, hey, I want to leave California, or, I want to leave New York and I want to get out somewhere rural and we're going to make this move. There's a difference. When you say corporate relocation, you're talking about big companies that are calling you, correct?
Big companies, yeah. It's pretty. It's kind of a not many people know about it, but most companies will be when somebody needs to relocate, or they're getting a job transfer, promotion, or needing to open up in new locations throughout the United States. Corporations will then provide relocation services to the employee to get them from one city to another. So where we come in is we're handling the real estate needs of those people. And it's a little bit different than the average retail home sale or buyers coming into the area. These are generally people with families that are new to the area or new to the destination, where they need a little bit more hand-holding and assistance in learning about the communities, understanding what the nuances of our schools, job market, area tours, that sort of thing. So it encompasses a lot more than just putting a sign in somebody's front yard and trying to get a house sold, or just showing properties.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love it. And the reason I wanted you, to explain the difference with corporate relocation, of course, you're working with these large companies, you're doing a good amount of transactions. So it's safe to say that you are, somewhat of an expert in the field of helping people move, and whether they're relocating in or they're relocating out, you're helping these people with, that task of where do they go? How do they find what they need? How do they get pre-approved? What do they do when they sell the house and then they're trying to move and go to another state, or vice versa, selling that house, trying to come here? So I'm sure that you've kind of seen it all, right?
Most definitely. And here's kind of an interesting perspective on things. As an example, let's take somebody that's coming from the Dallas area, St. Louis or Cincinnati. They're not used to moving into California. They've never been here before, and they're looking for. They know that their office where they're going to be working is in, pick a city in Southern California, but they don't know if they want to live right there close to the office. Well, where do they go? Most realtors are working a small farm area in a particular city community, and they stay to that area. Well, with a corporate relocation or a transferring employee coming into the area, they need to know about the schools. They have preferences of type of school that they're looking for to put their kids in, and we compile a lot of information to help them assimilate and get familiar with the cities of the various communities that we're comprised of here in Southern California. And one of the interesting perspectives that when new arrivals come into the area, they're a little bit shell shocked in the sense of, wow, the home prices and what they're used to getting in other parts of the country in comparison to what they would get here. So it's a little bit of a having to educate them, show them around of the different areas, not just a small little neighborhood area. So our realtors, relocation realtors that are available, they are trained in all the different communities in Southern California. So if somebody's coming in, they are looking at the different areas such as outside of that one community. So just really kind of familiarizing themselves to the area and helping them really educate them on what's going on with those communities and the schools and that so forth.
So you're going a little bit more, little bit further beyond what the standard person or standard real estate agent would need to go, because you know that you're trying to get them, here and understanding where are they going, and what is the difference in price. I know I'm from Illinois, and it's a giant shell shock when people my family comes and says, what'd you buy for your, what'd you pay for your house? And it's this huge shell shock. And you mean you don't even have a backyard? So that is, it is something for the clients to try to figure that out. And you're right. In LA, if you live in LA, you could live an hour away from work to be finding that area where you want to live with that school district or, particular things that you need to have within a certain, space or area.
That's right. And the interesting thing is with corporate relocations, most of the companies, what they'll do is they'll want to have their employee within a 30 to 50 to 60 mile radius of the office. So that really broadens our farm area, our realtors farm area, to a huge footprint throughout Southern California. And that's where they have to be experts, not only in one community, but several communities, and know the schools, know the shopping, know the places of worship, and then when these newcomers to our state come into the area, we're showing them around and providing area tours, welcoming baskets for not only for the buyers or the adults, the people that are getting transferred, but also for the kids, to make them really feel at home and understand, this is a great place. It's going to be a fantastic experience because Southern California has so much to offer to people, and we really have to build that aspect into things and into the equation there, so that they're, when they're leaving these big homes in the Midwest and other parts of the country, Southern California has a lot to offer that outweighs the where they're living, coming from, I should say. So it's a great great opportunity for them.
I would say mostly weather is really what LA has working for it, or California in general, Southern California, all of California. I would really have to say weather. But I do want to take this minute just for a second, Chris, to remind everybody that's watching, thank you guys so much for being there. I want you to put your questions in the feed, give us your comments, give us your thumbs up. This is an interactive show. If you have a question about relocating, whether it is coming to California or leaving California, Chris is on for us, and he's our expert of the day to make sure that he's answering those questions for you. So please make sure that you guys are putting that into the feed. I want to say hi really quick to Danielle Gray. She's already jumped on and made a comment. She said, yay, self-employed, looking to buy new construction in Vegas this year. So that's kind of the whole point about this, Danielle, is that we are working in all of these different states where people are trying to migrate to. So there are a lot of people here in California that are going to the Las Vegas area. We've got a lot of people that are in California going to Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Arizona, Florida. There's, it's a big movement right now. And even coming from the east to us here to the West Coast, which is what Chris has seen a lot of, especially companies like Northrop Grumman, where they're bringing in, engineers and such, and, they're here in Southern California, but maybe, you're working out in Palmdale, but you want to live in Santa Clarita. So it's definitely, I could see what you're saying about, you really have to educate them and take them out and take the time, to explain where are they going, where do they want to be, what's important to them, do their kids ride horses, is that something that they're used to where they're coming from? Then they need to try to find, is there horseback riding in the area or within a shorter period or a distance, right, of that extracurricular activity. So
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. So again, guys, if you have any questions, please put it into the feed. We'd love to hear from you. We want to answer those questions for you. Chris, we're going to take a super quick break. Sure. And then when we come back, we're going to keep talking relocation because I love this. It is the great migration right now. Everybody is moving. They're either coming here or they're going there. And I think it's really important to see what can we do for our listeners to try to make it a little bit easier for them because there is a lot of coordinating. So I'm looking forward to some tips and tricks that you might have that you give your clients and that we can possibly help our listeners with. So we're going to take 2 seconds. We'll be right back.
Sounds good.
All right, and welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. Like I said, it was going to be a super quick break. It's just gives us enough time to insert a commercial for the actual radio program. Everybody watching right now live on YouTube knows you guys can put your questions in the feed. You can ask whatever you'd like. We're here doing it live. We're here Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time every single week. If you guys are listening by radio over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're taking Monday's show and Wednesday's show, and we're putting the sound together into one show for you. So if you feel like you heard two different shows, something weird about this one, that is the fact. We are actually putting those two shows together to make you one solid hour for radio on Saturday and Sunday. So if you guys want to do it with us, you got to do it live. You got to go to Mortgage Mom Radio on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so that you do know when we go live. So Danielle, while we were at break, she jumped in really quick and she says, I have 20% down already, but for new home construction, you only put an earnest money deposit down at first, then they build, then you close. Should I stick with 20% down or save to put more by closing? So that is something, Danielle, I think that we'd want to actually talk about off air, not during the show, because there are a lot of things that you could be doing with that 20% down payment. It's going to depend on what kind of monthly payment that you are trying to achieve. Are you going to be doing upgrades to that new construction that maybe some of that down payment needs to go towards the upgrades? How many upgrades are you trying to do? Do we have loan programs where you don't have to put 20% down and still, not have to pay mortgage insurance? Yes, we do. So I think it's something really important that we would take off screen, talk about you. What are your goals? How much cash do you have today? How much do you think you could have by the time you're ready to close? And then what is the best use of those funds? So please don't hesitate to reach out to the team, get yourself an appointment. You can talk to me or you can talk to any of the girls on the team, and we'll make sure that we help you. How do you guys get your appointment? I know everybody's wondering. Go to their website, go to mortgagemomradio.com. You can click on book appointment and you can schedule yourself a call for a time that works for you. You can also give us a call at the office. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. That's WELEND and the number 4. If you guys want help with your relocation, you want to talk with Chris, all you have to do is call the office, get yourself an appointment. It's a free consultation. You'll talk to us. We'll get you pre-approved. We'll get you over to Chris. He can help you with your with the sale of your home or the purchase of the new home, depending on whether you're coming or going. Chris, if they wanted to reach out to you directly, what is the best way for them to reach you?
My number is 562-221-0055.
All right. So say it one more time, just because it's radio. So people might be like,
sure.
I got to find a pen and paper. So let's do it one more time.
Yeah. Phone number 562-221-0055.
Perfect. And remember, guys, if you can't remember that, then all you got to do is go to mortgagemomradio.com and you guys can call the office and we will get you over to Chris right away. So right before the break, I said we were going to talk about tips and tricks that you could be providing since you're doing this relocation thing, a lot pretty much every single day, and you've probably got multiple clients at a time that you're juggling through moving here and moving out. What would be some tips and tricks that you would say are important? Do you have anything right off the top of your head, questions that come up a lot, or scenarios that you seem to have to fix? Give us some ideas.
Well, let's touch base on the outbound. So people that are leaving our state, because that's pretty big right now. We've got quite a few, whether you're looking to retire, move out, bigger space, that sort of thing. So one of the biggest first things when we go in and meet with people, we're doing a you would call a broker market analysis on their property and evaluating their home. And the number one thing that people should really put on their list, things to do to start with, is do a discard and donate program with everything that they have. Because leaving California, and getting your house ready to sell, you need to. A lot of people accumulate a lot of possessions over the years, and it's always good to start doing some cleaning and clearing out prior to putting that house on the market. So that's the number one tip that I would offer. Secondly, with regard to prepping your house and getting it ready to sell, there are and then I would look at it from a standpoint of little fix-it items that might need to be done, because when a realtor is getting a house ready and prepping it for pictures, to marketing photos and that sort of thing, and everybody's on the internet and looking at those homes and checking them out. The interesting thing is that with photos, the eye naturally goes to the first imperfection that might pop up, and that could be a small scratch on the wall, or some type of out of place item that would be in a photograph or a video that's on the house. So little things like that, when you're setting up your to-do list prior to listing, those are items where you want to, as you're walking through and taking a look at the house, making sure that those items, if you see it, so will everybody else. So you just make those little fix, repair item, things like that. And then secondly, I would also put on there the yard. So doing a little bit of a refresh to your front yard and making it pop with some flowers, just quick little things like that kind of set it above some of the neighboring properties and that sort of thing. Even though it is a seller's market out there right now in Southern California, a huge seller's market, it's still nice to have those little items taken care of, because then it helps the sellers get a higher price for their home. Just little touches like that, and it helps get the property sold quick and higher price on the homes. So those are a couple tips there.
Yeah, no, I like it. And honestly, something as simple as mulch, you have no idea, just throwing that into the flower beds, how much that will just kind of give the backyard some color, clean it up, make it look, fresh. And it really does. When we sold our home just recently, we threw the mulch in the backyard, and it was just, I was thinking to myself, why didn't we do this sooner? It would have been so much nicer to look at as we were sitting outside. So no, you're right. That's absolutely a fantastic tip. What I was thinking in my head, and I know that this is a piece of contention for a lot of people, is that they're thinking, I really want to move, and we really want to sell our house, and we want to go to, let's call it Texas, right? That seems to be a big place that a lot of people are moving out to. But, we really can't, we need to sell our house first before we can move. And they're really counting on the proceeds and the equity from the home, even to get movers scheduled and, to start to do those things. But then that means that they need to close here before they can start to schedule movers. Well, you can't usually call, you closed today, you get your money from escrow in a couple of days, and then you're calling for a mover. So, and it doesn't really work that way. So what do you suggest in that situation? Do you have any tips or tricks for, you're putting your home on the market, but you need to make sure that you're doing, this, or this is going to give you more time, or, what have you got there?
That's a great question. And here's what we do. We have a network of agents, relocation agents throughout the country. So what we are doing is we are coordinating with our agents. So when we list a property, and that house has to sell, and our sellers are already looking in Texas for a property. So we're working with the agent in Texas to coordinate what's called a consecutive close. So when the house closes here, and then those proceeds with the escrow company are then transferred to the property that they are going to be buying in Texas. So there is a bit of a team effort, both from the sales side as well as the buy side with the agents, in coordinating the efforts to make sure that there are no issues with that buyer, to where that on the destination side, that their funds are transferred quickly and they're not out of pocket any money there. So as opposed to having to buy first or sell first and then take the money, we do what's called a consecutive close on those type of situations. And it is a big team effort, both on the destination and origin side of things. Yeah.
Now, do you have any suggestions? Are there moving companies that you have tight relationships with that will get somebody on the books, even though maybe they haven't, given them a deposit for the actual moving date, since they really aren't going to be able to pay until they get the proceeds from their home? Or do you find that maybe doing a rent back, closing their home, and then they've got, a week or two that they're staying in the property? What do you seem to feel works the best? I mean, we're talking about big moves right now. We're talking relocation. You're going 4 or 5 hours away, at least a minimum, from LA to Arizona, or from LA up north to California and then beyond. Obviously, we have a lot of people that are truly going cross country. So what do you find to be the least stressful way? In my head, let me bring you where I'm at. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to close. I have to give the buyer the keys the next day. I have to have my house emptied. I'm going to be on my way to Texas. But what if my house doesn't close on time? Or, and then I don't have the cash. So, I can just kind of see where you would start to spin if you were trying to sell and then move, right? So what do you typically suggest to try to maybe bring down some of that stress level?
We have a network of, you touched on two great points. One is the rent back situation. That's very prevalent right now with a lot of people that are selling their homes, and we can work in that if we're representing a seller. And as going back to what I had said earlier, that this is a true seller's market pretty much throughout the country. And we're seeing a lot of rent back situations. And what that means is that after the close of escrow, when the property has been sold and transferred title to the new owner of the property, then the seller can remain in possession of the property for a period of time. And depending on what that period of time is, it will fluctuate depending on everybody's to each their own situation. So that's negotiated up front in the purchase contract with a buyer. But then we also we're able to help coordinate the movers and set up the movers we work with a lot of corporate movers, which have the ability to set somebody on the books, get them on the reservation, to where then the moving company comes in, packs them up, and moves them out. And generally, depending on the size of the property, it can be done in 1 to 2 days for the pack, and then load out on the third day. So the movers that we work with are professional corporate movers, very reputable organizations, and have been in business for quite a few years. So there are several of them out there. And then also, if you're doing a self move, we have sources for that if somebody wants to do their own self move too.
Gotcha. I love it. So is there anything, and again, Chris, I love that you're on right now because you're dealing with the relocation, and I was really trying to make this episode the entire week. Actually, Monday we talked, like I said, about the lending side. We have a lot of people that will call us and say, we want to move to Texas. And so we're just going to sell our house. We're going to get the equity. We're going to move. We want to go buy another house, and we're going to deal with finding our jobs when we get there. And we as lenders go, no, wait a minute. minute. Stop. Hold on. So we did the show on Monday. I did the show all about kind of, the lending side and what you need to do and to get the pre-approval. We need to talk about, are we going to buy it as a primary, and are you relocating, or do you work from home and can you continue to do that job? Or do we maybe want to look at this like we're buying an investment property or a second home? You've got your job here, you qualify for the loan, and then you make your move. So we talked a lot about that on Monday. So this whole show was supposed to be around the great migration. Everybody's moving and going somewhere. And, if somebody's here in the state of California, because that's where you are, and that's where you're providing your services. Obviously, you're spanning across the country because you're doing relocation. So you have the real estate agents, just like we do, to get them in touch with for the area where they are relocating to. And you've got the moving companies. And, that's why I really wanted to have you on. But if there was one piece of advice that you could leave with, well, let's start with this. I want to do two things. Number one is I want you to tell everybody why they need to work with you. Why do they need to call Chris Lechner, right? Why your company? And then I want you to leave us with one piece of advice that you feel is really important for somebody that's considering making the move. Not their job is relocating them. They have a relocation package. They're going to get, the movers paid for them. They're going to get real estate commissions paid for by by their new company, right? This is somebody that has truly just been sitting, been here in California or been in Tennessee and decides, I really want to move to X, right? So give us one piece of advice for them and tell us why we need to call you and work with you. I know why. I like you. I love working with you guys. But tell us why we need to work with you, and then give us a piece of advice to close it up with.
Well, I would say this, because you made a good point there. And one of the most people to bring in first, if it were an individual looking at, okay, I want to get out of here, I'm going to move, or I'm looking at other parts. Obviously, the realtor, you want to talk with the realtor, but as important, you want to talk to somebody. You want to talk to you, the mortgage person, to get them pre-approved, get them understanding of what the affordability is and what they can do, because with Mortgage Mom Radio and Mortgage Mom, Debbie, you've saved us many times with clients and been able to pull rabbits out of your hat when their lenders that they have been working with fail to perform, in a sense. And Debbie's been able to step up and help our clients out with great customer service. And we just get rave reviews on your service. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And the other thing I would say is why to use my company or somebody that has great relocation background. We are trained in relocation. There's several different spokes in the wheel when it comes to relocation. Everything from the movers, temporary lodging, that's housing for somebody that's going, the interim housing situation, the obviously the real estate aspect of it, but there's several different facets to a relocation, and that's where we come into play. We are experts in relocation and the ability to help guide and counsel people on what to do, when to do it, and being able to do a successful relocation from point A to point B, even if it's a local move or a long distance move relocation. We have the ability and the knowledge to be able to do that versus just putting, as I said earlier, putting a sign in the yard and selling a property. So there's a lot more that goes into it from that perspective.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Really, I appreciate that. We love working with you and your team, everybody on your team. I have the one thing that I can say when I get a phone call from you or any of your agents is that you guys are understanding. You're sweet. You guys are nice. I mean, just truly real human beings. You understand when you're coming to me and saying, can you fix this for us? Everybody there understands that there's time is of the essence. We're going to go as fast as we can. We're going to try to get it done. You guys let me do my job. You're not, crawling up my butt trying to get answers right now today, which makes it easier for me and my team to get it done and get it done fast. But the one thing I do want everybody to hear me say is that you guys are truly exceptional when it comes to communication and just overall just lovely people. So thank you so much for thinking of me and my team and giving us the opportunity when you can. I know it's hard because when you do a lot of corporate relocation, you're working with big companies, and those companies already have set relationships. They're giving their buyers, or their employee, they're telling their employee, call, this bank, and then they have a deal set up with that bank to get that person a little bit lower interest rate and lower closing fees, and they're paying the fees for that buyer, right? Don't we all wish that we could get a job that offered us a relocation package? I'll tell you, my sister had one at one point where they literally paid the real estate agent commissions for her to sell her home and paid all of her closing costs to purchase her new home. So, you can't really tell them, hey, I think you should call Debbie instead. She does a great job. So we love the opportunity when it does come up that we need to get in there and save the deal for you. And then obviously we love working with your clients that are not actual corporate relocation clients. And I wanted to make sure that everybody, that listens to my show, all my listeners, all my viewers, understand who you guys are, what you do. You truly are the expert in that relocation. If you guys are out there and you're listening and you've been thinking about making a move cross country, even just to the next city over, Chris and his team are absolutely amazing. So like I mentioned earlier, you guys can call the office. You can talk to me. We'll get you sent over to Chris to talk to him. Or Chris, give us your telephone number one more time so that people can reach out.
Yes, thank you. It is 562-221-0055.
All right. So give it one more time because they got to hear it twice.
562-221-0055. And you can also check us out on the web. Our web address is globalpointrelocation.com.
I love it. globalpointrelocation.com. My assistant Heidi jumped on and she said yes, because she was agreeing with everything that I was saying. And then she says, I wish I would have used them. It would have been so much easier because back in 2020, when everything went a little bit nuts, Heidi actually made a move to Mesa, to Arizona. And boy, did she have a rough time. And we're in the industry. I mean, we do loans for a living. I sold homes before I got into lending. And, being even in the industry, boy, did she have a rough way to go. So I can only imagine, how stressful that it can become for somebody that doesn't do it on the daily basis and doesn't understand the terms and contingencies and, rent back and, all of, what kind of time should it take. And so anyway, it's people like you that make it easier for them. And that's why we had you on the show. And I just appreciate your time so much today, Chris, and look forward to, our relationship moving forward.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. You have a good one.
You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Debbie Marcoux, licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done. When you're in need and don't know where to go, pick up the phone and call mom.